One of the main things you see in the book of Hebrews is Christ's finished work, that he has made the once-for-all sacrifice, so that through faith in that work, because of God's grace, allowing him to live as our substitute and die in our place, that we have security until the end. And so the reason that we persevere to the end is not because we are so great and because we are so strong in our persevering spirit, but it's because God is so faithful to give us everything that he's promised in Christ. In 6:19 through 20, the backdrop of these verses is God's promise to Abraham. And look at what he says in 6:19 and 20. He says, "For we have as this sure and steadfast anchor of the soul a hope that enters into the inner place behind the curtain, where Jesus has gone as a forerunner on our behalf, having become a high priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek." That was the promise that Abraham had. If you've ever studied the book of Galatians, you know that when God appeared to Abraham, he preached the gospel to Abraham, and he told him about this seed, the very one that he told Adam and Eve about in Genesis 3:15 was the very one who Abraham would find solace in and who Abraham would trust in, that God would come and live and die in his place. And the same was true for all of the Old Testament saints. A good example would be Jacob. If you watch Jacob, there are not a lot of positive things about Jacob. He was a liar. Two of his sons killed an entire village because one individual violated their sister Dinah. And you look at his legacy, and you look at his heritage, and you look at the favoritism that he showed Joseph and all of those things, and you recognize that if Jacob's hope was in Jacob's actions, then Jacob had no hope. But Jacob, God was gracious to Jacob and revealed himself to Jacob. And through the thick and thin of Jacob's inadequate lifestyle, God faithfully revealed himself to him. And God's done the same thing to us, that he has gone before us, that he has paved the way for us in Christ. And now God, through Christ, by his Spirit, is finishing the work in us as we live on this earth and as we relate to others and as we proclaim his name. God has gone before you. God has finished the work. Therefore, you can faithfully persevere because he is willing and working on your behalf.